Welcome, everybody. You might be wondering why I'm up so late or early in the morning, and I guess I'm kind of asking myself the same question. But honestly, Sydney Colson's live was pretty lit.
MVP! MVP! Hey! 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 Hell, who said that? Hey, if you're one of my friends and you're on here, comment, miss you.
Basically, for those of you who don't know, Sydney Colson was on Instagram Live. The team was celebrating afterwards. They were dancing tons of songs, and there were a ton of nuggets that came out of it. I mean, really, they were clearly drunk, excited, having all the fun celebratory stuff. A kind of inside look that we don't really get to see all the time. Like usually we'll get to see like a slice of the post game or other things, but this was really like behind closed doors, them just having fun. But through it, there were quite a few nuggets. So the first notable moment was that Clark, for the first time, acknowledged that the league was probably sick that the Fever won this game. And Aaliyah Boston immediately responds, "Yeah, they're pissed."
Guys, I just know everybody in the league is sick. They're pissed.
And I think, again, it's interesting because Clark is normally so buttoned up PR when she's in any sort of press conference, that kind of thing, and is asked these kinds of questions. And so for her to just openly in this, just like blurt this out for the team to acknowledge it, it's like, it's very clear that this team is really galvanized and they've circled the wagons. They've become very tight as a group. And in this case, just kind of acknowledging that, hey, other teams in the leagues don't like them and they don't want them to succeed, and they're probably upset right now that the Lynx didn't bring this one home and the Fever get to relish in this victory, right? I think there's a lot of players and obviously a lot of haters that felt the same way. I've seen everything from people saying that, again, already that Clark should be kicked off the team, that it was rigged somehow by Kathy and the Lynx, which would never happen. I mean, anyone go ask the stud buds if they gave up 50K for this game so they could throw the Fever. It's not happening. Um, which is pretty. I mean, I don't know. Like there's people are gonna make so many excuses. But right now it's like the Fever on top, and you can't say anything because they won, and they won in a convincing fashion. It wasn't close. They were double digit underdogs to double digit victors in this game. Now, the other interesting piece, I mean, there was many interesting parts, but another interesting part was that Clark was blurting out and calling it the Kathy Cup.
Gotta get Ebony's password. Guys, we won the Kathy Cup. We won the Kathy Cup. Get in my pick.
And so it's not bad enough that Kathy was booed when presenting the trophy.
Commissioner Kathy Engelberg.
Thank you, Michael. This is our.
But Clark goes on to blast her for paying the players more for this game than for the championship.
We're still in like 7th place, but we'll get it up. That's what we want. Until they have 30 cups. We'll get it up. If you get more for this than you do if you're the champion, makes no sense. Someone tell Kathy to help us out.
Which, for those that don't know, is there is like a sliding postseason pay that you get paid. So you get your salary, that's for the regular season, and then during the postseason, the players aren't paid any really extra money. They're paid partial money from the tournament. However, that's like you take the same like total prize pool of 500K, but it's split between all 8 teams that make the playoffs and like their placements. And so you might play for the first round. In the first round, you only get like a couple grand for getting knocked out, and then even if you win the full tournament, you don't get as much as for winning this singular best of 1 tournament. You didn't have to play a best of 5, best of whatever. You only had to play a best of 1. You win that, you get 30-40K and plus the crypto money, all this kind of stuff. So really, it is kind of interesting that in this case, again, calling out Kathy's like literally like, hey, make it make sense, do something about it. I think this is also part of a bigger pressure campaign from the players that are obviously rallying around talks for the CBA and making sure that players are treated correctly. And I think there's a lot of things that are interpreted out in the weeds. I mean, I know a lot of people are going after Sophie Cunningham for her comments, but I really think her comments were rooted in, hey, you're expanding to all these teams, but you're not helping the players in that are currently in the league. You're not giving them their fair share. So make sure you take care of the players that are already in the league before we go planning out to bring in all these other teams, bring in all these other players. And that's like a separate video. I think that going to 18 teams is kind of weird. I feel like 16 was the goal and made a lot of sense, because if you get to 16 teams, then that creates your even 8 brackets. A lot of stuff flows really well there. But now that we're talking about like 18 teams, it just seems kind of weird. With all that said, I think it was definitely very fun. And there was one risky moment where Clark said to stop the live because she wanted to say something to the team. She ends up whispering it, which again, risky move, Caitlin. Although not everybody's in the right state of mind for that decision, but everybody on the team seems to agree, and I guess we'll never know what was uttered there. But I think that's it for me. Let me know, did you catch this live? Did you have was it fun watching your favorite team cut loose a little bit after a big win? And as always, remember, you're gonna be amazing today because you are amazing, and I'll catch you next episode.
And it allowed us to get up and down and do what we're best at. And I'm just so proud of these guys. Fought, clawed.
Sorry, last one. She shouldn't have played this. She shouldn't have played this. The plane can wait. The plane can wait. They're not taking off without us. They're not taking off without us. Where they gonna go without us? Hell no. Where they gonna go without us? We got serious invitation. Hey, what you did?
I put your picture on the mirror.
What you did?
Hey, somebody said your name.
In your stomach what?
In my stomach, there's a pain.